Should you buy the PlayStation 5? Well, this is the fantasy and this is the reality. So in this video, we're going to do just that, a reality check, and help you with your hype to help you make a smarter buying decision. Let's start. Hello everybody. Well, as you know, I was debating with myself whether should I buy the PlayStation 5 or not. And in this video, we're going to discuss the reason why you should, maybe shouldn't, buy the PlayStation 5. Now, as you know, we're going to start with the most simple thing, right? If buying the PlayStation 5 really doesn't budge you when it comes to budget, well, just buy it. This video is definitely not for you. So for the rest of you who actually buying the PlayStation 5 means, putting hard-earned money into it, and you have your thoughts whether you should buy it compared to if you have a PC or not have PC, or maybe you should get the Xbox Series X compared to the PlayStation 5. We're going to talk about all that in this video. Well, I can start from my perspective, all right? And if you own a gaming PC, all right, I own a gaming PC. Now, it depends, all right? I own a 1660 GTX Ti, for example. It's really kind of not performing well for me if I want to play the highest graphic settings. It's already feel kind of the low end in some aspects. Now, the thing is that some people prefer buying desktop computers. I personally prefer buying laptop computers because I travel. In general, I just prefer having a laptop so I can carry it around with me. If you want to buy a desktop, it might be even cheaper for you, and you get even better performance. The thing is that if you're able to buy the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X for their original price tag, it's a great value in general. Now, although both look really nice, they're both computers, generally speaking, right? So the thing is that it's not about just the hardware, it's about what those two platforms have to offer. Thing is, when it comes to Xbox Series X, well, if you own a PC which has equivalent graphic processing power compared to the Xbox Series X, well, you don't actually need to buy the Xbox Series X because you can run almost, I think, everything with that runs on the Xbox Series X will run on the PC. Even if you have something close to the performance of the Xbox Series X, even if you have something that doesn't have ray tracing like what I have, the 1660 GTX Ti on a PC, still I just feel that maybe it's not enough to convince me to buy into the Xbox Series X because the games I can run on my PC, and what's the point of getting the Xbox Series X at all? Now, even then, it depends on the price. Here, the price is where I live is 1K, and I think in most places you're going to find that price, unless you're lucky. So again, this is like paying twice the price for the same console. So this is definitely something you need to consider if you see something like that. The value that you get out of it, and whether it's worth for you, and of course, your budget. Now, one of the main advantages of the Xbox Series X is actually the Xbox Game Pass. I'm an Xbox Game Pass subscriber for quite some time now. There's nothing that comes close to it. Definitely not on Sony Cam. You get so many games that you don't say, even if you had time to play a lot of games, you still won't be able to just cross all the games that those you actually enjoy playing. Just so many games dropping in, and quite a few of them on day one, the day they are released to the general public on any console or any platform. All the AAA titles coming from Microsoft, especially if you like Bethesda games, right? Those games you probably, we won't see them on the PlayStation 5. It's not of Microsoft's interest to release them on the PlayStation 5, right? They spend so much money to buy these studios, well, for a reason, to make their Xbox Game Pass more attractive to both newcomers and current players, and of course, Bethesda fans. So for example, games like the Elder Scrolls 6 from Bethesda, well, from my understanding, it won't be available on PlayStation 5. If you own the PlayStation 5 and you don't own a PC, how are you actually going to play it? Or if you don't own a gaming PC that will support the minimum requirements, you won't be able to play it. And you save so much money because all these titles will be available for free if you are, of course, an Xbox Game Pass subscriber. there is just nothing that come close to it. And as a PlayStation 4 player, I was a big fan of PlayStation 4, and I played with this most of the time until I moved to PC. I had a great time. Most of the time, actually, I haven't played exclusive games. The exclusive games on the PlayStation 4 were, like The Last of Us that I played, were actually very few. I didn't even spend a lot of time playing exclusive. I just finished them and move on to other games. Most of the games weren't actually exclusives. Now, as of the current time, they are exclusive, but you need to understand, some people told me, if you get the PlayStation 5, just first play all the exclusive games on the PlayStation 5. What do you mean play all the exclusive games on the PlayStation 5? I'm not going to play all these exclusive because I bought the PlayStation 5. I'm just going to play the ones that I enjoy playing. And there are not many of them. Even with the Xbox Game Pass, where I have hundreds of games, I only choose a few that I know I enjoy playing. I'm not enjoying playing all of them. And we are talking about dozens of games, right? Not a few exclusive games, right? Like the PlayStation 5 that I might find enjoyable. And yeah, there are many people who buy the PlayStation 5 just will play everything, any exclusive, because they just bought the PlayStation 5 and they need to justify this expense and they are owning the PlayStation 5. So what are they going to do? Just going to play everything exclusive. Even although if they had the option to play this on another platform, maybe they weren't playing this at all. They would just skip it altogether. So it's kind of sometimes it's a fanboy mindset that I personally don't understand. I mean, there are many PlayStation 4 exclusive games that I just didn't play because I didn't want to play games like that. If I don't like, for example, roguelite, right? I'm probably not going to play it. It doesn't matter which platform it releases. Maybe I'm going to give it a try if there is a trial or something, and I try it out. Or maybe a friend has it. Maybe I'm just going to rent it to check it out. If it's not good, I'm going to replace it. But the thing is that with the Xbox Game Pass, renting games is just not needed. You get so many games that you don't even find something to play in. All the great games, the AAA games that come from Microsoft Studios will be available for free if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber. And now when I look back at the PlayStation Plus offering, each month, we need to wait all those games. Most of those games I didn't even play. And now I just laugh at Sony's offering in this, you pay for it, right? And you get, of course, the online service. But the thing is that the offering is just a joke compared to the value that you get from Xbox Game Pass subscriber. This is unimaginable, guys. This is insane offering. And you're gonna save tons of money. And if you are like that, you need to decide. You probably think on a budget-wise, right? So you also need to think about the money you're gonna spend on games. It's not like you have a PC when you're gonna find lots of sales there. There will be, but not as much as PC, for example. So you're gonna spend lots of money on games. And if you buy the Xbox Series X, for example, you're gonna have tons of games to play for free as a subscriber to their service. And it's of Microsoft interest to make sure to continue this, to grow. They're still buying, games, at a certain pace, but of course, the more players joining, the more they are profitable. So they're of their interest to continue and investing more and more in the service. And eventually they'll be able to buy even more high quality games because again, their budget is higher. And just to give you some numbers, based on an article I read on Eurogamer.net, Xbox Game Pass grows to 18 million members. This is insane. And they also mentioned on The Verge, Xbox Game Pass subscribers jumped 50% to 15 million. That was on September 2020. Really, really fast paced. More budget for Microsoft, more amazing games for us at the end of the day, and for free. And now I look at the PlayStation 5 side, and I tell myself, all right, what's there to play, right? And it's up to you, of course, to do your own decision, which because if you buy it, you probably want to play the exclusive games. What exclusive games are there? Well, you can actually check, and this list will change, and some will probably introduce. But the thing is that right now, I actually Google a bit, and I see that there are many PlayStation 5 players that are just frustrated because there are no exclusive games, lots of exclusive games to play. And of course, some others say to them, what do you expect? It was just released. The thing is, yeah, it was just released. And you're going to finish those exclusive games, I don't know, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. What are you going to do after? You're going to play the games that everybody else are playing on any other platform. That's what you're going to do. And there are going to be many other games, of course, the third parties that you need to pay for. Whether if you are an Xbox Game Pass subscriber You won't need to pay for it. They're going to be available for you for free. That's a huge advantage. So basically, you're going to find yourself paying more and more and more, and this is much more, guys. This is huge. If you accumulate all these, not just the selection of games that will of course lead to the fact that you're going to play more games, but you're going to save so much money because basically you just pay zero, except of course for the subscription service. Yeah, so I mentioned Xbox Game Pass a lot of time here, but yeah, this is a game changer, guys. This will save you tons of money and allow you to play more games. And this is the bottom line. That's what you want. Now, of course, there will be amazing PlayStation 5 exclusive in the near future. But in the near future, it might be going to take even a year and a half, who knows, maybe 2 years, until you really see PlayStation 5 really shine with all its exclusive. They are still in development, many of them. But as for right now, as of the time of making this video, it's not worth it. Definitely not at the double price it's actually selling. And as a PC player, having the PlayStation, of course, is kind of a good choice. The thing is that I need to ask myself whether I should buy the PlayStation 5 or invest in a better PC. Maybe I should invest more, but the value that I get even from buying a better PC will be much higher. Because I can get, for example, a PC with 3070 GTX Ti NVIDIA, which can run ray tracing much better than everything both the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 has to offer. It's much more future-proof when it comes to playing at a very high graphic setting as of 4K. But of course, all the games that are developed for these consoles will be developed to perfectly match the hardware. So you won't notice any low frame rates, lagging, all this stuff. No, but still the PC will deliver you a better visual experience, higher frame rates, and of course if you're playing on 4K, and if you want ray tracing, well, all this will be much better and of course much more future-proof. And as we've seen right now, it's really kind of moves very, very fast to a situation where even my graphic cards, which was actually good like a year and a half, 2 years ago, it's just kind of crappy right now. Still, I can play, of course, many games that doesn't require a lot of graphic settings, but there are many games, especially large AAA games that have beautiful visuals. And let's not forget VR, which I'm going to talk in a second, that requires really very high graphic processing power in order to play at the highest graphic settings. Now, when it comes to VR, don't put it aside. If you buy the PlayStation 5, especially if you can afford only one, either console or PC, you're gonna have the option to enjoy PlayStation VR 2 when it comes out, and PlayStation VR right now. And the thing is that you need to try VR, well, at least to understand what it is if you haven't tried it. This gives you so many unique experiences that otherwise you just couldn't experience because you need a VR headset. Of course, you need to pay for it, but the value that you get, the entertainment that you get from VR is uncomparable to anything else. Wow. This is gorgeous. Where are they? Oh, I can stay here forever. Why I need to get out of VR? It's so beautiful here in Spain. Now, if I was to buy a higher-end PC, high-end gaming PC, of course I'm going to get a much better VR experience. The thing is that right now, with what I have, I do just fine. I think because the market is still small, relatively, and developers want to make sure that their games are actually have biggest reach. So they try to adapt not to the highest high-end graphic card, then because the market shrinks the higher you go, right? So basically they try to kind of adapt or make sure the games run well and look good and play good on lower graphic settings. But of course there's a bottom line, the system minimum requirements that are required to play a VR game. So you need a VR ready PC in order to play it. So this is something you need to remember because this can be really big. There might be some really amazing VR titles that you're going to play on you'll be able to play on the PlayStation 5 that otherwise you won't be able to play on the Xbox Series X. Keep this in mind, no VR on the Xbox Series X. Well, at least for now. Now, but the PlayStation 4, you will have the option to play all these amazing PlayStation 4 games. There are plenty of them, right? Plenty. Something to keep in mind as well. But the same we can say to the Xbox Series X that open up to all their previous Xbox One and Xbox 360 games. So both of them will offer you plenty of previous gen games to play both consoles. So the thing is that when I see people just rush to buy the PlayStation 5, and then I go on Reddit and see all these people that are frustrated with the lack of exclusive games, again, as of the time of making this video, well, I'm not surprised. They're just rushing, they're hyped, and then they play this, they play Spider-Man and they play Ratchet and Clank. They finish this, like this one, like maybe in a few days, this one in a week, and then what? What are we gonna do now? We're gonna back to all those games that everybody else are playing on any platform. It doesn't matter. Then the PlayStation 5 doesn't become anything special. You just, unless again, you're going to play the PlayStation 4 games. Keep in mind, there are many people who don't want to play the PlayStation 4 games, no previous games. They want new games. They bought, otherwise, why actually maybe selling or just get the PlayStation 4? Why you need the PlayStation 5 right now? Enjoy the PlayStation 4 if you have it, until more games come, and then decide whether it's a good value to actually upgrade and get a PlayStation 5. Something to think about. And by the way, there will be many games that aren't PlayStation 5 exclusive, but they are PlayStation exclusive, and they will be available for both the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, if not at launch, maybe a few months after. So even if you have PlayStation 5 and you want to play a game that was exclusive to the PlayStation 5, you'll be able to play it on the PlayStation 4 after it's released later on, not on day one. So basically it's time exclusive for the PlayStation 5. Now, the other thing is that you need to understand both the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, although they are next gen and we are so hyped and hyper-realism and stuff, no hyper-realism, nothing. These consoles are still already old gen. They can easily surpass with a current gen PC, even previous gen PC hardware. They're just kind of old news. And of course, as we move forward into the future, they're going to still have this hardware. Whether if you buy a PC, for example, well, you can play games that have higher demands, and there will be ones that higher demand, and some of them you really want to play the highest settings to really enjoy, what they have to offer, especially if you want to play in 4K with ray tracing, all this stuff. And if you have a big display at home, you want to have it all. And another thing you need to understand is if you buy a console or Xbox Series X, you need to buy a display as well. Of course, the prices are not high, depends on the display you plan to buy, but this is something that, well, doesn't come in the box, obviously. So when I ask myself, if I'm already, if I need to pay 1K for a console, which is double the price, even more, if I'm getting I thought about getting the digital of the PlayStation 5, and I need to buy a display, I need to buy a new handset for it, if I really want to enjoy, for example, like a 3D audio, I'm getting to a price that I feel that the value that I get from the PC is so much higher, especially if you have the Xbox Game Pass for PC, that you just, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play this maybe Ratchet and Clank, and then what? All the other games I can still play on the PC because they're on a gaming PC. Not strong, but still. It's not worth it. And what I'm going to do, I'll be going to get into the waiting era, where you just wait. Where you just enjoy seeing all these amazing trailers and upcoming games and all these amazing buzz, but what you're gonna do is just watch all these videos, amazing buzz, shows, but no games. All waiting, and you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna enjoy waiting. You're gonna discuss on Reddit all the upcoming games, and wow, this looks great, this looks amazing, but none of them you're gonna play anytime soon. Just those games that you need to wait. So when you buy a PlayStation 5, you enjoy the waiting. That's why you bought the PlayStation 5, to enjoy the waiting. And it's going to be lots of waiting. And trust me, even those that are going to be released, maybe an exclusive or two, you're going to finish them and then waiting for the next one. All of these waiting, with all these studios, waiting. Now, whether it will become, in time where we get lots of exclusive games very frequently, what can I tell you? I wish there were lots of exclusive games, small games, like indie games, like small games, lots of exclusive for PlayStation 5, but they don't have to be those really huge games that take us forever to develop. To be honest, just put a few studios, like 2 or 3 studios, that's their focus, to release those games that doesn't require a lot of development effort and money, and create amazing little games. There's so many amazing little games that we play right now. That you put like Among Us and, you know, all this. Just make those games. It's gonna be amazing. They have really high replay value. Players will be able to play them all day, every day. Not all day, but every day. This would be some interesting value because of the replay value. And those type of games that I'm talking about have the highest replay value right now. Many people play them. So if you bring something like that exclusive for the PlayStation 5, you have something. But if you don't have them, and those like single player experiences that you finish and then nothing to play, that's why people are in this situation. If I was some place in Sony and in the PlayStation team or the acquisition of companies, I will try to create something like that. So these small games, very addictive, high replay value that people will enjoy playing in between those big AAA titles. Now, of course, there will be people who will tell you, and well, rightfully, that you can just buy a comparable PC that has the PlayStation 5 processing or Xbox Series X graphic processing capabilities, computing capabilities. Well, come on, hello, of course you can. But this is not the reason why people actually buying into them. Of course you can buy a PC for cheaper, right? But the thing is that when people buy the consoles, well, they get everything kind of all together and they know the games will be developed specifically for this console, so they don't need to deal with upgrades and all this stuff. The games are optimized for those consoles. And this is a great advantage. You don't need to worry about anything. You just download the game, you know you're gonna get a great experience, and that's it. Some players don't want to mess about settings and stuff and getting higher FPS. They just want to make sure that when they download the game, it plays perfectly compared to if you have a lower end PC, gaming PC that just doesn't deliver. And then you need to see, all right, maybe do I have the minimum system requirements? If I don't, with the consoles, you know the game is optimized for it. Of course, especially the exclusive, they're super optimized for the console. I mean, for the console it's being released for. So even me, I was very hyped on the PlayStation 5. I played on the PlayStation 4. This was my main gaming machine. I enjoyed it. I made so many friends. And this is why, by the way, another reason you should consider getting either of the consoles is if you have friends playing on this console only. I have friends who only play on the PlayStation in general, and we were always communicating online. It was so much fun. I have so many online friends, but now I can communicate with them because most of the time they're playing on the PlayStation, and I'm not going to jump and interfere with them. Most of the communication was actually by playing together, playing games. Sometimes we're just chatting in the party chat, but most of the time it's playing games together. So if I want to do that, I need to buy a PlayStation 5. In order to, because I know they only play on the PlayStation. So this is one reason to think about it. It can be, of course, on Xbox Series X as well. A reason to think about getting a certain console if many of your friends are actually playing on this console and want to play with them and have fun together. Of course, mostly multiplayer games, right? So overall, and of course there are many other reasons, right? Each one has its own individual preferences, but when I put mine, I just don't see the PlayStation 5 right now as a console that I prefer buying. No, I actually think that I personally was overhyped myself, and all that I did was trying to get it, not even taking into account many of the things that I told you, and of course other things. I just didn't take into account. When I thought about it rationally, and when I just cleared all the hype, and then I just realized what I'm actually doing. What am I doing? What am I even rushing? Why, just to play Ratchet and Clank? By the way, I love Ratchet and Clank. What am I gonna do? There's no need to. It's just a waste. It's better to wait. Then you can get it cheaper, and then you have many other games to play, and then you can, those single player games not gonna go anywhere. Play them later. It's not like a multiplayer game that at some point, servers are closed because there are not many players playing. There's no rush. This is because, of course, I own a PC, right? Keep this in mind. But I have my own, thinking to do when I'm deciding to buy a console or PC or Xbox Series X. Yeah, so this is it. Basically, PlayStation 5 out of the picture for me. I see no reason to buy it. Actually, I'm happy that I'm actually in a point where I decided to wait. I feel proud of myself not actually buying it right now. But I'm sure this time will come that the PlayStation 5 will have some really great exclusives that maybe will justify, maybe. We need to wait and see. It's only something subjective because I need to see whether I enjoy playing those games. Maybe I want to get The Last of Us 2 optimized for the PlayStation 5. Be something nice, but we need to wait and see. So each one of you are going to do their own decisions. But again, as of the time of making this video, really I'm happy that I went with my, my hype to get the PlayStation 5 and just stopped, thought about it, and then realized that not just I shouldn't be hyped for it, there's no even reason to get it right now. It's just a waste of money. So this is it for this video. Tell me what you think. I know it's long, but I wanted to share it's not everything, by the way, but many things that kind of in my head and the reason why I decided not to get the PlayStation 5. And then right now I'm kind of leaning towards getting a second PC, much better than mine. I think it will give me the best value, especially with the Xbox Game Pass option. So again, we'll decide soon, but again, PlayStation 5, out of the picture, out of the window. Not now, definitely not now. And I'm proud of it. So until the next video, thanks for watching. Waiting for your comments below what you think, which one you should buy for your case. Share with me your decisions, hard decisions in the comment section below. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, bye-bye.